If you've seen some of my videos before, you will know that I'm not actually that big on talking about breathing, but it is obviously an important aspect of singing, so let's get into it today. Now, before we talk about breathing for singing, I want to take a moment to reset how we're thinking about it. You already breathe all day without thinking about it, but singing is one of the first times most people are asked to manage their breath on purpose. That's kind of where things start to feel unpredictable, unstable, or exhausting. So, this video is not about learning how to breathe. It's about learning how to control and manage your breath well enough to support singing. Today, we're going to do two things. One, build basic usable breath control so you know what steady airflow actually feels like. And two, set you up to understand when breath control becomes contextual. This is a basic foundations lesson, just the skills you need to move forward. Step one, build basic usable breath control. Here's what you hopefully should be able to do by the end of this step. By the end of step one, you're not trying to be good at breathing. You're checking whether your breath is reliable, repeatable, and usable for singing. Specifically, you should be able to 1. Take a deep breath without noise, tension, or urgency. This means no gasping, no shoulder lift, no bracing beforehand, just a calm, full inhale you could repeat anytime. 2. Take that breath again, but quickly. This means it won't be rushed, shallow, or overfilled. This matters because singing doesn't always give you the luxury of time to inhale. 3. Fully exhale that breath in a controlled way. This means you're not dumping it all at once, you're not holding it and then releasing it, and instead it's just a steady, intentional outflow. 4. Start sound without disrupting the breath. That means no locking, no shoving, no delaying. Sound should feel like it's riding the airflow, not fighting it. And finally, 5. Sustain airflow evenly. This should be happening whether you're exhaling silently or with sound and should have no sudden drops or surges or collapse midway through. Now, to clarify, if one or more of these is not working yet, that's the exact reason this step exists. Let's get into the exercises. Exercise 1, the expanding inhale. For this exercise, this is what I want you to do. Start by standing or sitting tall. Place a hand on your lower ribs or belly and inhale slowly through the mouth or nose. What you want to aim for is outward expansion, no shoulder lifting, and no urgency. Pause and exhale naturally. Then repeat this a few times. What's important to remember here is that you're not trying to take in more air per se. You're trying to let the space expand. So let's talk about what that might feel like. If you've ever tried to hold your breath for an extended period of time, you might recall taking a deep breath and then almost locking down somehow to make sure the air doesn't escape. Feel free to try that quickly right now. For me, that always came with a certain amount of pressure in my upper torso, and sometimes even all the way up to my mouth. That's because essentially I was keeping the air in my upper torso. The problem with this is that the pressure will make your exhale harder to control, and it creates tension in your entire system. So, what you want to do instead is send the air down. For me, here's what this feels like and how I visualize what's happening, which I'm not sure is actually the case, but it helps me personally. Obviously, we know that when you breathe in, the air goes into your lungs, and not, for example, into your belly, even though we singers do like to say that sometimes. The thing to keep in mind here is that A, the lungs are pretty big, filling up most of our ribcage, and B, they can expand quite a bit. In my experience, you have kind of two different ways of filling the lungs. You can fill them top down or bottom up. Again, this is a sensational thing, not anatomy. We are aiming for bottom up, for a deep, steady inhale. So as you breathe in, you keep a steady flow of air going down through your throat, past your chest, where it starts to feel like your stomach is filling up with air. At that stage, you know that your lungs are really expanding fully because your rib cage is opening up and your diaphragm is contracting to make more room for your lungs. Usually, I find that you can take deeper breaths when breathing bottom up, and you create less pressure to exhale immediately again, which in turn gives you more control over your exhale. Exercise 2, the controlled exhale. For this exercise, we're going to take the same deep, expansive inhale that we just practiced, and then exhale it slowly and evenly on a soft, unvoiced sound like S or F. For this exercise, your only job is to keep the airflow consistent and to avoid surges, drop-offs, or any tightening to save air. For this, you do not have to try to be impressive, and sometimes I have to remind myself of that. This is not about how long you can keep the exhale going, but it's all about consistency and control. Here's what to pay attention to while you're doing this. Is the air rushing out at the beginning? Do you feel pressure building as you go? Does the sound suddenly thin, wobble, or disappear? For the record, all of this is information, not failure. It's just telling you where you're at. What's important here is that this is breath management. It's not about how much air you took in, it's about how evenly you let it out over time. A good inhale with poor management still collapses. A good inhale with steady release gives you options. If you can release air like this without locking up or panicking, you've just built the foundation for singing longer phrases. Now, the next couple of exercises are all about building and developing your breath management and control. Exercise 3. This is the simplest bridge between silent airflow and singing. It forces steady airflow and vocal fold coordination without needing pitch accuracy. For this exercise, we're going to start again with a deep bottom-up inhale and then exhale on a sounding consonant like V or Z, like this. Or ideally, you want to aim for an even volume, no wobbling, and no fading out earlier than necessary. This will help you build steady airflow plus a gentle sound, which is building baseline control. Exercise 4, humming. Hums naturally discourage forcing and help you feel when airflow collapses. Again, we start with a deep bottom-up inhale and then sustain a soft hum on a comfortable note. You're going to want to keep this relaxed, not too breathy, and with no pressure. Variations to this exercise can be shorter hums, longer hums, and gently pitch sliding. Here are some examples. What you're training in this exercise is breath management with resonance and pitch, but without too much effort. Exercise 5, long vowels. This is where breath control becomes really obvious because vowels don't hide anything. Pick an easy vowel like oo, ah, You'll once again want to start with a deep bottom-up inhale and then sustain a single note on your chosen vowel. Don't chase loudness for this, chase steadiness instead. Here are a couple of things to watch for while you're doing this exercise. Does the tone thin out? Does it suddenly get louder? Do you feel the urge to push near the end? All of this is normal and trainable with repetition. In this exercise, what you're training is airflow consistency under real singing conditions. Exercise 6, short bursts of ha, ha, ha. This exercise builds active exhale control instead of passive release. As a consequence, you might find this more challenging than anything we've done so far. Again, we'll start with a deep bottom-up inhale, and then I want you to do 5 to 7 even ha sounds. Each one wants to be clear and intentional and ideally not too explosive. Think controlled pulses, no gasps and no punches. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. In this exercise, what you're training is precision control over how much air you're releasing per sound. And finally, exercise 7, spoken patterns. This is basically going to be exploration with a long, moving phrase, you could say, to stretch your air management control. As always, we'll start with a deep bottom-up inhale, and then you'll speak through the entire alphabet, calmly but quickly. When you reach Z, start from the top again immediately with no pause. The goal is to see how many rounds of the alphabet you can go through without straining for breath. Ideally, try this both seated and standing to see the difference. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. In this exercise, what you're training is breath management across longer durations with changing consonants and vowels. All right, those were all of my breath control exercises for today. Here's how to use them. First, you do not need to do all of them every day. You'll probably want to pick 2 to 4 to rotate. Ideally, start with exercise 1 and 2, and then pick somewhere from 3 to 7. The main thing you want to focus on is consistency, not endurance. Endurance will come over time as a side effect. You definitely want to stop before fatigue kicks in, because control degrades when tired, and that's just not satisfying. Ultimately, this practice will slowly ingrain breath control for you at an instinctive level, where you no longer need to think about your breathing and you can focus on your performance. Which in turn brings me to step 2. Breath control can be contextual. Now that you've done some actual breath work, here's the important thing to understand. Basic breath control is, of course, a foundational skill, but that also means that you want it to be mostly instinctive and not for it to control your singing or how you think about it. This is kind of where a lot of confusion comes from. Once you can take a deep, usable inhale, release air steadily, and adjust how quickly or slowly air leaves your body, the question stops being, how do I breathe correctly? And instead becomes, where, when, and why do I breathe in this music? That is an entirely different problem. This is going to be a little bit overgeneralized, but I'm going to break this into 2 major categories. Category 1 is when breathing is pre-planned. These are musical situations where breath is largely decided in advance. This shows up most clearly in styles like classical singing, traditional choir music, and even musical theater in certain dramatic contexts, though this list is not exhaustive or exclusive. In these settings, phrasing often comes first, and your breath has to be able to meet those demands. That means you don't always breathe where it feels easiest. You sometimes train your breath specifically to last through a phrase, and breath control is about execution, not interpretation. So here, breath management becomes, how do I make my body capable of sustaining what's written? That is a real skill, and it builds on the foundational breath control you just practiced. Category 2 is when breath becomes interpretive. Big disclaimer, not all musical situations, but in a lot of solo, contemporary, jazz, folk, or singer-songwriter material, breath is much more flexible. Here, the question is not, where am I allowed to breathe? And instead, it's, where can I breathe so this phrase still works? This could mean taking a breath slightly earlier to avoid running out of air, choosing a breath that adds to the phrasing instead of interrupting it, and sometimes even breaking a phrase that will be technically wrong but is musically convincing. At this stage, breath control becomes less about rules and more about judgment. And the better your basic breath management is, the more freedom you have to make those choices instinctively. So, here's the through line for this entire lesson. Step 1 gives you control. Step 2 reframes the context of breathing while singing. If you don't have basic breath management, you'll always feel behind the music. But once you do, breathing stops being something you solve and instead starts being something you use. And the more musical experience you gain, the more instinctive this becomes. You stop thinking, will I run out of air? And instead you start thinking, where do I want this phrase to go? How do I want to make this sound? What am I actually trying to say with this? Okay, guys, that's it. That's everything I want you to know about breathing for now. If you're interested in advancing your technique around breathing further, for example, exploring the concept of using less air to achieve the same thing, let me know in the comments. I really hope this was helpful to you and helped clear up some confusion you might have had around breathing and singing. I'm Lydia Reynolds, and I am so honored you joined me today. If you enjoy how I teach, why not subscribe and like the video? I cannot wait to make more videos for you and support you in your singing journey. See you soon.